up, potty people, and welcome back to my channel. So we are doing another testing new drugstore makeup video, but we're going to extend it a little bit. We're actually going to be talking about affordable makeup in general. I do have a couple of things that you can actually find from the drugstore, but they are at a very good price point and they're new to me. So yeah, we're just going to jump straight into it and start putting some stuff on my face. So if you like videos like this where I test out new makeup, then make sure you give it a thumbs up if you want to see more, and subscribe to my channel if you are not already, and turn that notification bell on to never miss an upload from me so we can always hang out and chill and talk about makeup together. And without further ado, let's dive in and try some new makeup. So I don't have a new eyeshadow primer, so I'm just going to use my Makeup Revolution Prime and Lock. So I'm centering this entire look around this new liquid shadow from L'Oreal. This is the Brilliant Eyes liquid shadow in the shade Amethyst Quartz. It's a really pretty lavender with a gold iridescent shimmer, and it reminds me a lot of Stila's liquid shadow in the shade Cloud. This is the, I think it's the Glitter and Glow or Glimmer and Glow. Yeah, Shimmer and Glow. So I was close. I did swatch these side by side to see how they compared. So right here on the left is the L'Oreal, and then on the right is Stila. So there is a slight difference. The L'Oreal one is just a little bit more opaque. So I do have these new palettes from C Color Cosmetics. So these aren't necessarily new, I don't think, but they're new to me. They're affordable. Yeah, C Color Cosmetics is one of those brands that dupes all these really like bougie, high-end popular palettes. The first palette I have is the Frost. So this is trying to dupe the Kylie Nice palette, I believe, which is like $44, and this is like under 10. There are some shades in here that I can think of to pair with that liquid eyeshadow. It's a very unique shade, so it's kind of hard to come up with something. But then I also have the Savannah palette, which is trying to dupe a Natasha Denona palette. I don't know if it's a Sunset or I don't know, it's something. That palette's like $120 or $65 or I don't know. So yeah, these are all mattes, but yeah, really pretty selection of like muted mauves, pinks, plums, stuff like that. And I kind of want to tie into like maybe like a mustardy color to kind of bring out the gold shimmer in this liquid shadow. So I'm going to go into, let's first go into the Savannah palette. So I'm going to take just a mixture of these like matte ivory type shades and just use that to set my primer down. Let's go into this bottom mustardy shade right here. Why is there glitter on my eyelid already? What? Wait, why is there glitter all over my face? I haven't even started playing yet. I'm so confused. Okay, so that shade went on really, really well. It's super smooth, very easy to work with, and pigmented, but not overly pigmented. So right up my alley. Okay, let's go into this shade right here, which is kind of like a, it's kind of a unique shade. It's like a warm mauve-y brown shade. I don't know. These are very, very pigmented, and they are pretty dusty. I don't know if you can see that. There is a lot of fallout, like it's like flying in the air whenever I first lay it down. I'm just going to put this in the outer V and then string it through the lower socket of the crease, but keeping it below that mustard. And when I go to lay more product down, I'm just going to start off by tapping it on, just so I don't lose it all in the air and on my face, and then I'll buff it out. Okay, so that shade's really pretty, so just kind of added some warmth in there. I'm still confused as to why there are glitter particles all across my face, but yeah, it definitely works out better whenever you start off by tapping it and then blend out the edges afterwards. But yeah, really pretty shade, and I think we're off to a good start. So now let's jump into this plummy shade right next to it. It's kind of like a pinkish plum. It's got some warmth to it. So once again, I'm just going to start off by tapping it on the outer V and then just blend out the edges. And I actually think I'm going to go ahead and put this all over the eyelid, just to serve as a base, like a base color for that liquid shadow later. Okay, I'm really liking those shadows. So I went back in with the brushes that I used for the previous shades and just kind of touched up a little bit in the crease and just to blend out the purple a little bit. But yeah, that's looking really pretty. There is fallout, so you know, I definitely recommend doing your eyes first, as I always do. Now I'm going to go ahead and go into that liquid shadow from L'Oreal. So it does have the same type of like paddle applicator as the Stila ones. I am noticing that the texture is quite different than the Stila ones. It seems to have a tendency to leave like the little like fiber strokes. Okay, so I'm gonna try to keep my eye semi-closed. Like I'm trying not to get any like creases or anything in it while I work on the other side. But there's what the shade looks like so far. So yeah, it looks very, very similar to Cloud at this point, but based on how it swatched, like it did dry down a little bit darker. All right, so I sat here for a few minutes and I actually went ahead and did my skin prep and stuff just so everything's had time to absorb before I go into my primers. It definitely does dry down. Like it's not one that stays tacky or wet or anything. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna be one that's gonna have trouble wearing or anything, but just to kind of blend out the outer edges right there, because as you can see, it looks pretty choppy. So I'm gonna go back in with that brush that I used for that plum. I'm just going to start tapping it right on top of that outer V area. So for eyeliner, I have the new L'Oreal Matte Signature Liquid Eyeliner in the shade Black. So here's what it looks like. It just comes in a little pot like this, so it looks really fancy. I mean, it just has your typical like felt tip. This is actually really easy to work with. It comes to a really nice fine point, and this is another one that I found that's actually matte black. Yeah, this does dry down really fast, and it does dry down to be matte. It's very, very jet black. The applicator does get kind of dry, so I find myself having to dip in for more product quite a few times just on one eye. But as far as the application, it's very easy to control. It gives you a really nice smooth line. It doesn't look squiggly or messy or choppy or anything. It doesn't bleed. Yeah, where I focus my attention and my application on using the tip of the applicator, that's what dries out quickest. It is kind of hard to make a wing. Like it does come to a really nice fine precise point, which is awesome for making a wing, but it is a longer applicator, so you don't have as much control. There's so much length that it just starts getting kind of wobbly. And also, while I was off camera, I did look up the prices and whatnot of the palettes I'm using. So the Frost palette is $7 and the Savannah palette is $8. And this is supposed to be a dupe for Natasha Denona Safari, according to Hot Mess Mama. So yeah, I have this new L'Oreal Bambi eye mascara. So this is about $11, $10 depending on where you find it, but it's $11 at Ulta. Provides instant eye-opening volume with a wide-eyed brush to fit eye shape to coat every lash. Brush's mix of long and short bristles provide lash by lash separation and definition. This is definitely more of a lengthening formula. Like, it doesn't really give a lot of volume or thickness or fullness or anything. It's definitely more for that really like doll-eyed, like long lash effect, which, I mean, that's what it claims to do. So it doesn't claim to be a super volumizing formula, so it's not lying. I mean, it's, how do I describe this? Medium thickness, kind of wand. I don't know, you can see it. But I actually find this to be one of those mascaras that if I layer it too many times, like even 2 layers can be too much. Like if I layer it too much, it ends up flaking throughout the day. All right, so I'm back with 2 layers of the mascara, and also my brows are done. I just did the Maybelline brow pencil and then my Cakey brow sculpt defining brow powder. I'm just trying to use up some different stuff, but yeah, this is actually the most volume that I've gotten out of this mascara since I've used it. And once again, I don't know if it's because there was liquid eyeliner gooped into my lashes, which just kind of gives more of a thickening effect, or if it's just where the formula's drying out over time and it's layering better. I don't know. So moving on to face products. So I have this Revlon Photo Ready Prime Plus Perfecting and Smoothing Makeup and Skincare Primer. So this is about $14 depending on where you find it. It's $14 at Ulta. And it just says it instantly creates a pristine canvas while improving the appearance of your skin over time. It contains hyaluronic acid, vitamin B5, and pumpkin seed extract, and is formulated without parabens, artificial dyes, sulfates, or phthalates. I don't really know why a sulfate would be in a makeup primer. I feel like sometimes brands reach and they'll say that their product is formulated without this, this, and this, like this known irritant and this toxin and this dirty ingredient, like just to make their brand sound rebranded and just like innovative and like, oh, we're doing better. And it could be an ingredient that that product wouldn't typically have in it anyway. I don't know of any primer that would have a sulfate in it. Like, sulfates are detergents, like it's a cleaning agent. So let's see what this looks like. I've never used this. It does come to pump. So we're just gonna try this for the first time together. Maybe, eventually, hopefully. Honestly, I haven't really been super into face primers recently. I've just been focusing on my skincare products and allowing that to be my primer. If you have like a good skin prep routine, like if you take care of your skin and you are properly hydrated and whatnot, then you really don't need a primer. So it's kind of like a thick gel consistency, but it's not really blurring my pores in or anything. It's actually kind of giving me more of like a plump, juicy effect. I don't know if that's just where it's wet and it hasn't dried down. So I'm gonna sit here for a few minutes and just see what it does, but I'm gonna go over it with my finger and like just pat it in. With most pore filling products, this is how you get the most effect. So let's see. Okay, it is losing that shine. I don't really feel like it blurred my pores. I mean, it did kind of give a slight smoothing effect. So let's go ahead and move on to the foundation I have today. So this is the Milani Screen Queen foundation, which is $14 at Ulta, and they have 45 shades, and the shades go so dark. And it does look like they go pretty light as well, but like the deeper shades look phenomenal. So I have the shade 170 Golden Fair. I haven't even tried this yet. Like, I wanted to save this for this video and do like a first impression and whatnot, but it looks like it could be a little too light. But I will say a lot of the lighter shades, like the light to medium range, they all look pretty similar in the swatches online anyway. So yeah, I don't know if there's a lot of variation from one shade to the next as far as undertone and depth goes. It just says, created to give you the woke up like this effortlessly perfected skin. This buildable light to medium coverage foundation blends seamlessly and blurs imperfections for an even, luminous, natural skin finish. Made with digital blue light filter technology. Helps fight the signs of digital damage, dullness, discoloration, and hyperpigmentation. Just bear with me once again while we try to pump some out. Oh my God, I've been pumping forever. There we go. All right, so definitely a little bit too light for me. And it says golden fair. It does look pretty golden in the bottle, but it has like a, I don't know, almost like a peachy pink undertone to it whenever I swatch it out. It's just supposed to give you light to medium coverage, a natural skin-like finish. By the way, I have normal oily skin. I typically don't get shiny or greasy throughout the day. I don't know if it's where the primer is kind of tacky underneath and it's just adhering to the primer really well, but I am finding that I have to use a lot of product. Yeah, I had to pump out like 4 different pumps just to cover my entire face. But yeah, I would say this is like, I don't know, like a low medium coverage. Like you can still see these blemishes back here. I'm going to go in and build this up. I don't know how this dries down, so I don't know if it's going to be one of those foundations that layers better whenever it's like dried a little bit. But just because I'm not sure, I'm going to go ahead and apply a second layer and try to build it up. So yeah, here are 2 to 3 layers of the foundation. So definitely didn't get full coverage. I would say this is just a standard medium to like a high medium coverage. I am going to go ahead and give you the time. It's 2 o'clock right now. So I'm not going to do an actual wear test in the video. I'm just going to do like an update of my wear today in the description box. So yeah, check-in time is 2 o'clock. So moving on to some concealer. So this is the new Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Infinite Long Wear Concealer. This is a big old mamma jamma. So it just says the ultimate full coverage long wear concealer offers 16-hour wear with 20% more pigment and 20% more coverage. The formula is infused with pore refining niacinamide. I've been seeing niacinamide a lot in face makeup products lately. Like it's a new thing. It says it's perfect for blemish prone skin with its soothing and anti-inflammatory properties. Suitable for all skin types though. I've been testing it for about 2 weeks now, but I haven't quite made up my mind about it yet. I will say it's not one of those products that whenever I put it on, like look in the mirror whenever I take my makeup off, like I'm just like, oh my God, it looks horrible. So yeah, I don't think like from the amount of time that I've used it that it creases or fades or anything like that, but I'm going to take a closer look today, and once again, an update will be in the description box. Like, I'm not really seeing a whole lot more coverage than a typical full coverage concealer of mine. So there's what the first layer looks like. So I'm going to go in and just build it up just a tad bit. I would say this is mostly full coverage, but I have some dark circle action right there, so I'm just going to spot conceal it. So for bronzer, this isn't necessarily new, but it's new to me. I mean, this could be new. I'm not really sure. This is the Makeup Revolution Bronzer Reloaded. I have Take a Vacation and then Holiday Romance. So Take a Vacation is a little bit darker, so I do prefer this one, but it's just like a baked formula. And then here is Holiday Romance. I actually got these for like $3 at Ulta the other day. They were on sale. So yeah, this is Holiday Romance. This is Take a Vacation. So just you can see the difference in color. Let's see, for today I think I'm going to do one on each side just so you can see different colors in action. So let's do Take a Vacation on this side. So I don't have any powder on, like I didn't do any powder yet. I do want to see if the under eye concealer creases or anything. Yeah, it's very subtle. It's not super pigmented to where you have to, you know, make sure you're not getting too much on your brush. Like it's very subtle and buildable. So I think that looks really pretty. Let's go to the other side and let's use Holiday Romance. So this one is the lighter of the two. So if you're a more pale complexion, then this would definitely be your shade. Yeah, colors really aren't that different by the time you build them up, but I just like the quickness of the darker shade better, but they look the exact same on the skin. But I really like that formula. It's just a really nice satiny finish bronzer, and it just looks so, I don't know, like you went to the beach and you laid out on the sand and you got yourself a natural tan. So yeah, these aren't new, but if you can still find these, I really like these. So for blush, I don't have a new blush or anything, but this one is new to me, so I haven't shown it before. I'll use it in this video. This is the Believe Beauty Born To blush in the shade Creamy Peach. If you like a peach blush, this is really pretty, and I love this formula. This is at Dollar General. This is the Dollar General brand. Yeah, it blends out really nicely. It's not super matte. It gives you a little bit of a sheen, but I like it. Moving on to highlighter. I have 2 different highlighters. They're both from Milani. So I had these new baked highlighters from Milani, and then also the highlighter duo. So I'm going to be using both, but I actually went ahead and picked up 2 shades of the baked highlighter because this one, the first one that I got, was a little bit too dark. It does work. This is Champagne Dioro. They don't have many shades. I only have like 4, and I think this is like the second lightest. It's like a bronzy champagne. It kind of reminds me of ColourPop's Super Shock highlighter in the shade Wisp in a powder form, but it's such a beautiful formula, and it gives you such a pretty lit from within glow without looking too frosty or shimmery. So here's what Champagne Dioro looks like. But yeah, I would say if you're lighter than me, you wouldn't be able to pull this off. It would just be too bronzy and too like obvious on the skin. So looking at the swatch online, like the lightest shade, Dolce Perla, it looked a little bit too pink. I don't really like pink highlighters, but I thought, well, maybe it doesn't look that pink in person. Maybe the swatch just makes it look to be more pink than what it really is. So I did get Dolce Perla, which definitely is like a pink undertone. Like looking at it in the pan, it doesn't really do it justice. Like you have to see it on the skin. Like on the skin, it has like this golden iridescent shimmer, and it kind of makes it look more warm than a traditional like icy pink highlighter. It's almost like a rose gold iridescence. Yeah, these mixed, oh my god, such a pretty combination. So let's swatch Champagne Perla right over here. These are definitely more of like a natural highlight. You can build them up and get them to be more intense and give you a really nice like metallic wet sheen, or if you just apply a very light amount, it looks really natural. So if you want something more intense and more bam in your face, then I would recommend this one. This is the Power Up Highlighter Duo. I think the shade's called Power Up. So you get a cream and a powder. And this is $12.99 at Ulta. They have 4 shades, so yeah, very limited. Yeah, Power Up you would think would be a little bit lighter. Like it does look like it would be more universal in the swatch, but I mean, it is pretty golden. But here's what it looks like. So yeah, let's see. This one, this side is the cream and this side's the powder. Here's what the shades look like. So here's the cream, here's the powder. So yeah, you can just layer these up to get a more like amped up kind of effect. But yeah, that powder is so orangey and coppery. So just to use as much as possible, let's go in with the cream side and just top off this right here. And the cream actually is a little bit lighter. Like it is more of a toned down golden champagne. But once again, if you're any lighter than me, I don't think this would work for you. Yeah, it sinks into the skin really well. It doesn't look stripy or anything, even though it's not my perfect match. Let's just go ahead and go in. Oh, I'm gonna have to use my clean brush. No, I'm not. I'm gonna use one I didn't wash last night. So I'm gonna go in on top of that cream with the powder highlighter from this duo set. It is very, very debris-ish. Let's just go right on top, just right at the peak. That's how I've been enjoying applying this shade. Yeah, very intense, super pretty. It's not super frosty or shimmery to where it's going to emphasize a lot of pores and texture and blemishes and stuff. Like, it's a really, really nice formula. So now I'm going to go into the baked highlighter. So I do want to show you what Champagne Duo looks like on its own. I'm just going to wipe off the excess of that brush. As far as the difference in formula, like I said, this definitely is more natural, but you can build it up. As you can see, it's pretty golden. It's a very yellow gold. So like right next to my under eye area that's, you know, pretty bright and white, you can definitely see it, but it has such a pretty sheen. Oh, it's so nice. So now I'm gonna go into Dolce Perla and put this right on top just to kind of tone it down a little bit, and hopefully you guys can see what it does. Like it's a really pretty shade. Like I said, I don't really like pink highlighters, but this one's more of like a yellowish pink. They just look so wet and juicy. They make your cheeks look really plump. Ugh. So I don't think I have anything else to show you guys today. So I think I'm gonna go off camera now and finish up my lower lash line and put some lips on and some setting spray and also setting powder because I haven't done that yet. So I'm gonna go do all of that. I'll come back and show you what it looks like up close, and we'll do a final roundup and just final conclusion. So yeah, I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I'm back with full face, and everything I'm wearing will be linked below in the description box. The C Color Cosmetics eyeshadow palettes I really, really enjoy. I can't say how they compare to the palettes that they're actually trying to dupe. These are super high quality, they're pigmented, they're easy to work with and blend out. They don't look like a cheap eyeshadow at all, so I'm thoroughly impressed with these. The L'Oreal liquid eyeshadow, as far as the color goes, it's a really good alternative to the Stila Cloud liquid eyeshadow. It's almost the exact same shade. I can't see potential issues with it emphasizing like fine lines and wrinkles. It does set to be more of like a dry, almost like a powder finish. Like it doesn't hold up to be wet and metallic and kind of like the Stila ones. Like they set, but they still look like a liquid eyeshadow. Like this sets to be almost like a powder eyeshadow that you just wet with the brush or something. But I can see like slight creasing already starting to happen, and just kind of like, I don't know, just kind of emphasizing the textures of my eyelids. It's an okay option. I just feel like if you have really dry eyelids, you might not be the biggest fan of it. The L'Oreal Bambi mascara definitely is better for lengthening. So personally, I just need a mascara that does a little bit more, but it does give you that doll, like wide-eyed effect. Like it makes your eyes look really open. But again, if you layer it too much, it can flake. So just not very reliable and trustworthy, but it's an okay formula, just not my favorite. The L'Oreal Matte Liquid Liner, again, I feel like I've said pretty much everything I wanted to say about most of these, but just kind of like bring it to a close. It's a nice like matte jet black formula, but that applicator is kind of, it's kind of iffy. Like, it does dry out really fast, and I don't see this being a product that lasts for a very long time. It's good. I like it, just it's not my favorite. The Revlon Prime Plus Perfecting and Smoothing Primer. Primers are one of those things I just have to test with different variables. Like, I need to try this with other foundations. I personally don't see myself gravitating towards it a whole lot just because I didn't really see it doing much, and also I don't really feel the need to use primers on a daily basis anymore. I do feel like it does stay very sticky and tacky for a while, so I'm not really sure how I feel about it. I'll give you guys an update in the future. And then the foundation. So here's where we're going to talk a little bit more about what I'm seeing now. So even though it's more of a natural finish, it definitely does look powdery and dry on my skin. And my skin's not dry at all. Like, I don't have any speck of dry flakage or like dryness at all on my skin. Like, I'm very properly moisturized and whatnot, but like in between my brows it looks very dry. It is enhancing my smile lines. Like, it looks very like crepey. It just looks very dry and powdery and just not sitting properly around like the crevice of my nose. On top of my nose, it does look kind of dry. It's not bad, but it just kind of looks like spotty. But as far as everywhere else, like everywhere outside of my T-zone looks pretty good and looks really smooth. The cheek products look really good and smooth, and you know, back here it looks fine. It's just lately, like if I have a problem, it's always in my T-zone. It's not necessarily because of oil. Like, a lot of foundations just tend to look cakey and dry and powdery in my T-zone where I'm more oily. I don't know. I'll definitely keep testing these, and I'll give you guys an update in the future. But for a wear test today, my check-in time was 2 o'clock, so my wear test update will be in the description box for how it wore today. As far as how I'm liking it at this point, kind of not. I'm kind of the same way about the concealer. Like, I just need to test it more, but the fact that I've been testing it for 2 weeks and it hasn't wowed me enough, like it hasn't made that big of an impression on me for me to even decide if I like it or not. That kind of tells me that I lean more on the not liking it side. It does look pretty dry in my under eye area though, and I do have little like dots in like the socket of my under eye area, like where my dark circles are. I think a lot of us have that, and it is emphasizing those where it is more dry formula. And I mean, this may be one of those concealers that is just meant more for like acne and blemishes across your face instead of your under eyes, but that's the only reason I use concealers. And then last but not least, Milani highlighters. So I love all of these. Like, even though none of them are my perfect shade match, like they're not the best for my skin tone, I love these formulas. They just make my skin look so juicy, and they mesh and marry right in. Like, they just, I love the way they sit on the skin. They don't look frosty or overemphasizing of like pores and texture and blemishes and stuff. Like, I love these formulas. So that is it for testing out some more new drugstore and affordable makeup of 2020. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you've tried anything I talked about today, then let us know your review in the comments below. And yeah, give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Mwah.